Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy. Back with you here, 560 WQAM.
Oh, this is the song where, wait. So, Marcos, I saw this on Instagram, right? What do they say when they get to the...
Mama say, mama sa.
We've gone through this.
No, that's not what he's saying. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm not going to stop.
That's not what he says. I refuse to believe that. I refuse it. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm not going to stop.
So, you have those songs.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, for Cranberry Zombie, I never knew that was the name of the song because I thought they were saying someday. Or my favorite is one time we were at a party and Jam On It came on and I was singing Jam Pony.
Jam Pony. Is that a cousin to the Zonky?
The zombie. And everybody stopped and turned and looked at me. I thought I had food on my face or something. They go, what the hell are you singing?
It's something, dude. So there's some draft buzz going on right now. There's talks that the Browns and Giants, according to Peter Schrager of ESPN, that the Browns and Giants are fielding trade calls for the number 2 or number 3 pick. A lot of thought that people want to trade up, not only to either get Hunter or Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, but people want to jump up there to get Ashton Genty, which is a little interesting because most of the draft buzz I've heard is he's going to end up in the lower top 10, even as awesome as he is because he's a running back. But somebody wanted to jump up and get him at 3 or even 2. That seems kind of crazy because I feel like you could do that. If you really wanted him, I feel like you could go to like 4 or 5 and still get him.
Yeah, but if there's 3 teams that want to move up to get him, then that pushes everybody to have to move up farther. You see what I mean? So say if there's 3 teams want to move up and get Gentry, right? Then that means that they're having these conversations with either 1 or 2 teams. And that's why he moves up. I mean, he's that good. Like, think about this. The last person that's had the production that he has had in college was Barry Sanders.
It's crazy.
Very similar game. He might be a little more physical than Barry Sanders. And so,
do you think there's a team that's like really low in the first round that like saw what Saquon did last year and they just want to leap all the way up because they just want to push their chips to the table? Like that feels like that's what would make sense to me. Like if I were to give up my first. It
depends on here. Making a move like that depends on where you are.
Like let's say the Chiefs wanted to do that. The Chiefs were like,
I think they like their running back. He's just always banged up,
though, dude. Like they didn't. Like they're always complaining about Mahomes. It feels like Mahomes is getting. There's more complaint about Mahomes.
It's the offensive line. It's not the running backs. But I would say what about a team like say Cincinnati? That you have a situation where you need offensive line and you need somebody that's going to take some of the heat off of your quarterback who you've already paid. So it's worth.
What if Chris Greer's just getting wild? He goes, you know what?
No, dude.
I'm going.
Dude,
I'm going to get fired anyway. And Chris Greer's just sitting. He goes, everyone's mad at me. That's his only move. His only move is to give up a lot of draft picks to do splashy things.
Here's the kicker.
And so he just gives up a heap of picks. He goes, I'm taking Ashton Jenny.
But here's the problem with that.
Still keeps his job.
Okay, the running game here has nothing to do with who's running the ball. It's how they run the football. And so to bring in another guy and plug him in the same offense is not going to help you like you
Even
think
if he's a stud like this?
No, it doesn't.
Mostert broke the record for rushing touchdowns for this team.
I know. But again, you need to have a physical run game, not necessarily a physical running back. If I take a physical running back and plug him into this offense, it might look awkward because it's a lot of sideways stuff.
I like the idea of Chris Greer just walking in there after that press conference. He goes, "Let's get irresponsible. I'm not going to be here." Someone's doing it, right? Like, who's not going to, like, there's not any GMs who are like, I mean, I'm sure he's got to have a talk with Stephen Ross, but he goes, "Steve,
no,
best running back in the league."
Absolutely not.
And he goes, "Oh, I like that."
No.
The old can be tricked.
Because here, guess what? Did the running game fail because of the system or the blocking?
The blocking sucked. And but
the
also
their
lead running back is tiny.
That's
tiny.
Here.
And I know, like, I know Genty's not a moose, but
he breaks a lot of tackles.
But he's bigger than Achane, and Achane you could kind of use as a Swiss Army knife for everything.
But here.
By the way, I don't think the Dolphins should do this. I just want to be clear here, but I do like splashy things.
It in the ether.
No, I'm just saying it would be fun, but it would be fun. It would be funny. It would be funny.
Can you stop putting it?
Because the Dolphins are in the spot right now where they have so many holes. Like, it's like he said at the draft. It's like, we feel like the board's going to fall our way. It's like, well, yeah, you got a hole at safety, corner, D-line, O-line. You literally, like, will probably have the pick of the, like, nobody's going to look at the Dolphins, right? And whether they take Starks or Jahdae Barron or Will Johnson or hell, if Mason Graham by some chance fell to them or Banks, it's like none of these guys are going to be like, oh, that was a terrible pick, because you have so many holes here right now. I can't really criticize it unless there's some kind of swerve that comes with the Dolphins.
The only criticism I will have is if they draft the guy who's been hurt.
Yeah, which is kind of the thing on Will Johnson, and a lot of people mock him to the Dolphins. That's why I was trying to see if you got any Wolverines intel.
I don't. He's an awesome player.
Give me that Wolverines intel.
Come on, we know.
Give me that. Give me that Wolverines intel.
Come on, let me get it.
He's an unbelievable player. He is. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. Okay. I don't want to take the chance on an injured player. We've already been down that path.
Yeah.
Nobody's happy with it.
It's not a good path.
No, it's not.
By the way, I got to give props to Mel Kiper. He's the only guy sticking with Shedeur Sanders over Cam Ward. Not as a pick, like he's not mocking it.
As a prospect.
On a big board, though, on the Kiper big board, the OG big board, he's still got Shedeur Sanders over Cam Ward.
Which is crazy.
You got to respect it. But I respect, if you have a take and you were like, nope, I'm telling you, Shedeur Sanders is better than Cam Ward. He's sticking with it. I respect it.
Even if it's a wrong take.
Yeah. He says you won't find a tougher, more resilient quarterback prospect than Sanders, who took 99 sacks over past 2 seasons, but still put up really strong numbers. I'm always impressed watching him throw on the move, rolling either left or right. He's accurate in those spots. He has the arm to drive the ball, and everybody's saying he's got a noodle arm. When his mechanics and footwork are sound, he can pick apart a defense, and while he's not necessarily a major rushing threat, he can keep the chains moving with his legs.
Mobile.
And Cam Ward isn't those things?
I put him 6. I mean, they're one spot apart. I think he's really holding on to it. He goes, I can't leave my Shedeur Sanders take right now.
I would say this. I've seen, and I've said this over and over again, and it may be because I've seen more of one over the other, but I've seen Cam Ward, with all the highlights you may see of him, I've seen him make on-time accurate throws.
Yep.
And I've seen him do it more than Shedeur. And that might have something to do with the fact that I've seen Cam more. But that's why I would go with Cam Ward, because I've seen him make a lot of NFL throws that are timed and not necessarily the stuff you see on TV.
Ooh, mock draft of all 7 rounds on NFL.com right now. How about that?
Wow. They got 2 Colston Loveling. They're going to have 2 tight ends going top 10. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, remember, last year, Loveland, I think he was going to come out.
Well, that was a prospects list. That wasn't a mock draft. But those are the top 10 prospects. You don't know how the award's going to fall. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. I know that Tyler Warren is a beast.
NFL.com has the Dolphins taking Jahdae Barron, cornerback from Texas.
See? I can deal with that. I like the Michigan cornerback.
I just don't trust them taking a corner.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't trust him taking a corner.
Give me an offensive lineman.
Can we get some? Well, here.
I guess I don't trust him taking anybody.
Here's what I would say.
I guess that's right.
The only thing that would upset me during this year's draft is two things. You draft somebody who's been banged up, or you don't draft the highest rated guy. You draft the guy you think you're filling a hole with. Because usually you end up overdrafting. And I don't want that. I want them, if you get to, what pick do they have? 13?
13.
If you get to the 13th pick and the highest rated player on your board is an offensive lineman, win-win. Right? If it's a corner and the next available offensive line is ranked in the mid-20s, no. Because you have to start getting quality players. If you draft quality players, you can get longevity out of them, and then they can make an impact on your team. There's been too many guys that they've drafted where when they drafted him to say he is going to be a project.
Victor says, what do you guys think about the Dolphins taking Aranda Gatz in the second? Love it. Goosies.
No.
Not in the first round,
Can I?
Obviously not in the first round. No,
Oh,
he's not going in the first round.
Yeah, nostalgia.
Can I?
What? I can't have Goosey's picks for that?
Vibes.
Why not? They could use some more size, dude. You could agree. They would use more size. Even if Aranda Gadsden's is more of a receiving threat.
You know you have one of those.
We got one of them. What's wrong with two?
Because you don't play too tight.
Listen, you know who else we got at tight end, right? We got old Mr. Anytime Touchdown, who's cost me a lot of money. I called him New George Kittle.
Stonehands.
You called him New George. I'm so stupid. I'm a stupid boy.
And now you're doubling down.
I would love it if we got one of the legacy tight ends. That would be fun, even if it's not our need.
New George Kittle.
As long as we take,
you know what?
as long as we take a lineman first.
You know, when we have conversations like this, I always think in the back of my head, I try to keep it way back because I don't want it to be anywhere close to the front of my head where I can actually notice it. I have to go back into the brain.
Yeah.
What would this team look like if you got every guy you wanted?
Man, that's a good question.
I tell you what, it would suck.
I bet you I would want to play.
The team would suck.
He's got the Dolphins taking Xavier Watts, safety from Notre Dame, in the second round.
Okay.
It still hurts.
Again, I would think of it this way. All the success and failure of the draft is documented. The percentages, right? Teams, when teams get lucky and they hit on their third, fourth, fifth, sixth rounders, and those guys end up contributing, those are usually the teams that compete because they have cheap talent, right? They don't have to pay the talent yet. But when you have a team that seems to overdraft, that means reach for players, those teams never end up working out. So I don't want to do that. I want you to get the guy, no matter who you draft, I want them to say after every draft, it was going to be within 2 or 3 picks of that anyway, right? So if they draft 13th and you see the next 3 best available, I want every pick to end up being one of those best 3. I leave a little room for who you like or position or whatever. But if you keep doing that consistently, your team will get better. Not if you say, oh, you know what? I really like this guy. I'm going to trade all my picks to move up to 3 and draft Deion Jordan.
Third round, he's got the Dolphins taking Wyatt Millum, West Virginia guard.
That sounds like
6'6.5", 313.
Hey, that sounds like West Virginia.
Yeah, Wyatt. Hey, Wyatt, what you doing? Mauling.
Point for
Wait.
Tobin.
He says Leroy has no clue the pain and suffering of a lifelong Dolphin. Sure I do. I've been down here longer than some of you have been alive. So, like, what do you, but I also was on a team that was 3-13.
That's my dog, Dylan Gabriel. Not anymore. That's somebody else.
So I'm like, why do we sit here and think that I don't yeah, man. I was a Saints fan until I was 18 years old. The team never had a winning record. Of course I know what it feels like. But it's not a easy fix. And for people to sit here and think, I'm trying to give you solutions to your problem that will make your team better longer. Stop all this reaching, these trading for big name players, drafting or signing all these broke down players, and get some guys that are going to help you on the field. So yes, I do understand what you're going through. But for people to say, oh, let's go get a Rondé Gadsden's son, or let's go get somebody else's son.
But they're good.
Again.
You're
Don't tell me I don't understand what the situation is and what the issues are when I'm doing a show with a guy who you think understands and says, let's go get Rondé Gadsden Jr. He sounds like he doesn't understand what the hell you've been going through.
You see that catch radius, though?
There you go. See? There you go.
Catch radius. Good.
Good.
Rain Cloud Leroy.
Hey, Wyatt, how'd you get so big? My daddy had me lifting moonshine jugs from the forest.
Hey, Saints and Browns. He goes, I'm wrong. Yes, believe me, I understand. I know this. How do you think? Wait a minute. The only thing as a former Browns player, the only thing that I have over the Dolphins, and keep in mind, there's an offer in there.
Wyatt, let's go cow tipping.
The only thing I have is the Browns have actually won a playoff game in recent years.
Schmeathan says Tobin's about to catch Leroy's hands.
It's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
No, it's ridiculous that you guys come and be like, I don't understand. What don't I understand? I spent my whole youth cheering for a team that lost all the time.
2 youths.
Yeah, Tobin measures players in goosey radius.
Not the two.
Like this is
for
Ooh, I like this.
What's
How about
up?
this?
What's up?
NFL.com, round 4
Uh-huh.
has the Dolphins taken Dylan Gabriel, quarterback from Oregon.
Whoa, round 4.
Mm.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I think I like that.
Another tiny lefty Hawaiian quarterback.
Hmm.
That'll go over well.
Is he lefty?
He is.
Zach
You know
Wilson's
what?
not gonna
By
like
the
that.
way, you know what? The thing that Bill Belichick always did that was funny, but people didn't realize it's genius. Always had a left-footed punter.
Oh, yeah. You've told me this.
Yeah.